I'm here with Michael Dufort, PFL lightweight, going into fight number two this season, coming off a huge win in fight number one, of course, and we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about the upcoming fight with Adam Piccolotti. That's on June 21st. First of all, just to clarify, because I found two different answers online, your nickname, the Canadian Badass or the Machine? Which one are you currently?
I'm currently the Canadian Badass Machine. Started his career 0-2, and then he pretty much like I left it on the side, and then I, I I had no nickname for a while, and then CM Punk called me the Canadian Badass, and I liked it honestly. So I'm the Canadian Badass right now.
I actually really like it because Olivier Aubin-Mercier is the
Yeah.
Canadian gangster, so we've got a gangster, we got a badass. I love it. Um, Obviously there's a big fight coming up with Piccolotti, but I got to go back to the win against Mads Burnell. And Mads is a kind of a known quantity coming in from Bellator. Guys knew him. You were maybe a little under the radar, lesser well known, and you come in and you pull off what many consider an upset. I don't know if you consider it an upset, but huge fight. What was the feeling like going into that, your PFL regular season debut? You'd been on the Challenger Series, and then what has the feeling been like since?
Oh, honestly, I was so happy to be underdog. I said to on my Instagram account, I said to all the people I know, "I'll go bet money on me." Like I paid like something like three times your bet. So guys, that's crazy bet. That those are crazy odds. Put some money on the name, and I make some friends very happy.
Well, that is good to hear. What's the reaction been like since then? Just in terms of like, are you getting more interview requests, more fan engagement online? What's it been like for you?
Yeah, pretty much everything. I think the main thing is now people know who I am. Like they're like now they know they don't need to Google me and to try to find fight on YouTube or something like this. Now they know I'm a serious contender, and they know how serious I am. So I don't think like I don't think Adam is taking me for an easy fight. So that's fun because I want the best challenge there is, and I know Adam is a pretty good challenge for me.
Well, we'll talk about that in a moment. I wanted to ask though, you turned up on the Challenger Series in 2022. You won your fight, but you didn't compete for the PFL in 2023. What did they tell you coming out of the Challenger Series? Was it kind of like go out, get a couple of wins, and then we'll have a spot for you? What was the dialogue?
Not really. The Challenger Series was pretty much a one time thing. If you win your fight, like you have one chance out of four to be in the next PFL tournament, and we liked our odds. I think I delivered a good fight, but um, sad, but I was not chosen to compete in the tournament. So I compete another way. I compete with Olivier Aubin-Mercier because I was in pretty much all of his training camp, and honestly, I took some experience, like you said, and that's pretty good because I went to fight in Abu Dhabi. I went for a couple of fight in regional scene in the states. I went to win a belt for Cage Titans. So I got some experience. I got a belt at home that I really liked. So that was a nice path. That was fun. So right now I'm happy to be here, but I wasn't disappointed that much to not be in the latest tournament.
Well, you went out like you said to the regional scene and you got wins and they weren't just necessarily regional guy wins. You fought
Yeah,
Luis Pena, who's a UFC veteran. You fought Joe Giannetti, who's a Ultimate Fighter contender, and actually I think he was the finalist in his season. So
yeah.
you got some definitely quality wins over well-known guys. So you think that landed you back on the PFL radar?
Yeah, pretty much. Like you said, Luis Pinel was a pretty huge name in the UFC. I beat him in a less than a minute 30, and then I fought Joe Genetti that has never been finished. I finished him in a minute 30. So I think people looked at this and they were like, okay, he's good. He might be something. So I guess PFL liked us with Olivier, and they liked what I did, like on my side too. And now we match together, and I think I have the perfect style to compete in the PFL.
Well, you are leading the division after the first fight of the season, kind of carrying the torch for Canada now, picking up from OAM. Have you kind of thought of it that way, that now you're the Canadian representative here in the lightweight division?
Yeah, my plan is to three-peat that shit. So, like, Olivier win it twice in a row, and I'm planning on doing it the three-peating it, whatever. How to say it, but I'll try to do the three-peat. I'll do my best, honestly. It's the opportunity of a lifetime, so I'll do my best, and I know I have all the abilities to win it. And why not two peats for myself? And man, I'm just happy to be here, and I'll do my best to be the best fighter I can be.
Well, we're going to get the four-peat for Canada if you do it twice as well. Obviously, Adam Piccolotti coming up. You called him a tough fight, a Bellator veteran coming in, another Bellator veteran for you is back to back here. Just talk to me about the matchup, how you think you match up with him.
Oh, I like it. I think I'm a nightmare matchup for everybody. Like I'm a cardio machine. Like I'll be in your face for if you want me. If there's 3 rounds, I'll be in your face for 3 rounds. If there's 5 rounds, I will be there for 5 rounds. If there's an overtime, I'll be there for the overtime. Like I I have a will that no one has. So I'll show them, and I'll make them like regret every mistake they do.
Does the short turnaround between the first fight and the second fight change your approach at all in training? Is there anything that you have to do differently because you're not going to get a full 8 weeks?
No, not really. But honestly, we did it like twice with Olivier, so we really know how to win this. Like I said, it's not about training too hard to get injured, but training smart. And we're all into like the smart training, and just training with the people like that that are smart. And Olivier will be part of my next camp, so it will be a huge upgrade on my last camp. But yeah, no, you just gotta train smart. Like it's the fight are so close, one for from each other, so you gotta be ready every time.
You mentioned training with OAM, and before we started here, we talked a little. You're down in Florida right now, training at Killcliff as well. So, what about Killcliff did you like when you stepped in there that you went back for a second trip?
Uh, what I like the most, honestly, is the little stress. Every training, I'm kind of stressed. The same stress I have when I'm going to fight. So I'm just getting used to it. So like, there's so many good opponent here in Killcliff, so many good fighters, so many good coaches. Henry is like an incredible coach, and like I sparred on Tuesday. I sparred this morning, and like I've done 15 rounds with 15 different people, so that makes me ready for anything that Piccolotti can bring me. So if he's wrestling, I train with wrestler like in my last sparring. So if he wants to strike, like every round is a different type of fighter. So whatever he brings me, I'll be ready. And that's why I'm here right now. I just want to have that stress, to have that feeling of fighting for your life at some point. So that's very funny. And then I'll go back on my at home to finish the camp. And but still, you started that way, you won't finish that way too. So that's very short.
And then, back home, you're with H2O, but you've also, like you said, worked with OAM. What's it like working with Olivier Aubin-Mercier? I've interviewed him a bunch of times. He's a smart guy for the sport, wicked sense of humor. But, do you just kind of try and take up as much as you can? Because he's done this twice.
Yeah, this guy, people gotta know it. This guy is probably the smartest guy I've trained with. He has the MMA IQ. He has an incredible MMA IQ. He's so smart. He's so smart in the cage. He knows what to do from every position. He's a position master. Like when you get a good position on you, you got to work your ass off to get out, and that's how you win fight. Like he's not the most like extravagant fighter. He's not necessarily trying to knock people out. He's just so good at every second of the fight that at some point your opponent get angry and people make mistakes. So I'm trying to bring a bit of his game in my game because we are so different. Like I'm a finisher. I try to finish at every second. He's a master of the positioning, but I'm trying to bring a bit of his game in my game to be like the best fighter I can be.
Well, it's not a bad combination if you can finish from every position possible and be a little bit of both worlds. Absolutely love the enthusiasm you've got as well. And I think of OAM, and then of course I think of GSP and Rory McDonald. And if you go back a little further, Canada's got Carlos Newton. Was there a particular fighter when you were starting out in the sport that you looked up?
Honestly, George St. Pierre as again, like at the end of his career, he wasn't the most exciting fighter to watch, but he was so smart, and that's what I tried to bring in my game again. Like I try to be smarter because at some point I get like emotional, and that's what I try to not. In the same time, it helped me because I'm a finisher, so when I get like emotional a bit, that helped. But try to control it a bit, so I can be like a bit more in control of everything, like George was. But yeah, George the goat. So when you're from like Quebec, you have no chance to like the guy and to respect his work. So he's probably the guy I try to look up to.
Yeah, the Gretzky or Lemieux of fighting, if you look at it that way, right? No better guy to look up to.
Yep.
You're now blazing your own path, which is very cool, and looking forward to this fight with Adam Piccolotti. I mean, if you land on the PFL radar, you can be the next GSP, the next OAM, get those championships, and $1 million, the kind of money you don't really see in fighting a lot, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you one more before I let you go. Don't want your phone to overheat again on you. But give us a prediction for this fight, June 21st. Adam Piccolotti. How does this play out?
Uh, Man, I'll try to finish him at every moment of the fight. So expect a finish. That's what you can expect. That's what you should always expect from me. So if you bet on me, bet on the finish, guys. Don't bet on the decision. I don't like decision. I don't like judges, and judges don't like me. So bet on finishes.
Love it. Absolutely looking forward to this one, Michael. Thanks so very much for the time today. You have yourself a great day.
Thank you very much. Nice interview. Thank you.
Take care.